Welcome to episode 116 of Chew on This, a Nerds United podcast. I'm BJ.
Vic.
Well, we've hit our 2-year anniversary of our show, and it's been an awesome ride. Last year was, we'll talk about it in a second, but we had a lot of cool things go on, and
This is 2 years longer than I thought we'd actually do it.
you thought we'd record one time, and be like, I'm done.
Fuck it, we're done. That was just stupid.
Three-
After listening
3
to that
hours.
first episode, after listening to that first episode, we should have just stopped.
Yeah, instead we bought equipment, and anyway, we're
It's
into
over.
we're into it for money, so we got to keep going. But speaking of money, we are on patreon.com, and it's a great website for you guys to sign up on. It only costs, I think, as little as $1 per month. It helps us out. We've got a couple sponsors right now, but it's not a lot of dough. But if you could sponsor us, at patreon.com/chew on this podcast, and we've got different tiers and different rewards, anywhere from we'll create your own stick figure, we'll do a song and dance for you. I mean, you name it. There's a whole bunch of things on there. Anyway, that's patreon.com/chew on this podcast.
And we're getting dangerously close to a year of trying to promote West Coast Wawa, the hashtag, and it still hasn't caught on.
Yeah, I'm ready to give up.
We still don't have. I think we're 2 or 3 months away from getting West Coast Wawa that we started it last year, and I'm still doing it, obviously. And anyway, it's West Coast Wawa. It's this great it's like 7-Eleven but better. It's open not 24 hours. Some places are, but it's open. It's got great sandwiches. It's got great coffee, and they even started being able to. If you wanted to be a bigger fat ass, you can actually order shit on your phone and then have it waiting there for you to pick up.
That's awesome.
Yeah, so you can even upload gift cards onto your app, Starbucks does it too. But what Starbucks doesn't allow you to do yet is you can actually pick which Wawa you're going to go to if you have a gift card already on your phone, and then you pay through your phone, and then the second you get close to, the second you hit, pay for it, they start building your sandwich, and you can just go up and have it ready for you.
That's
right
pretty,
then and there.
That's pretty cool. Yeah.
So.
I
Would love
want
it
that.
out here.
I want that.
Would love it out here. West Coast hashtag West Coast Wawa. So 2017. You wanted to. You had a bunch of stuff going on for 2017.
Yeah.
For us.
Well, first of all, we have to definitely thank Cody Stark, because at the beginning of the year we actually got to go on Good Day Sacramento morning show, and we got to promote our first year anniversary. We must have gone downhill because we're not, welcome back for the second year. but no, just change of management, a lot of stuff going on there. But we got to go on Good Day Sacramento, and that led to some really cool things. We went on there a few times actually to review movies and to talk to Cody and just kind of BS. And but we also got to go back to the Sacramento Intergalactic Expo, which again I think we've gone downhill because I don't think we're going to go back there this year. But we got to do San Francisco Comic-Con as well.
Right.
And beyond that, we've got to talk to, and we'll talk about this in a second, but we got to talk to a lot of different people this year. Got a lot of interviews. Some were ones that we took a while to track down, and other ones just kind of fell into our lap. There was a little work involved.
Just like every single interview, I have no idea why these people agreed to talk to us. We are literally nobodies in the podcasting world. But they seem to like our shtick here, literally our stick figures. Everybody seems to like those. All joking aside, I honestly don't know why these people agree to talk to us. But every single one that's talked to us seems to enjoy coming on, and we can't thank them enough. We'll go through the list. But there's a couple things that we have to mention before we go on to talk about the interviews. Is we wouldn't actually have a podcast if it wasn't for my friend Brian, who actually hosts the podcast on his server. So we haven't crashed his server yet, and that would be a good problem to have. Meaning we would have a ton of listeners. But right now, we've grown a lot since last year. I just did the year end numbers, so we've doubled in size. Well, actually, more than doubled in size.
Oh yeah, his server is kind of like, if someone's like his front yard, and we're like the broken down car that parks in front of it. Essentially, so we're taking up all this space.
Well, we're not taking up that much space.
Not yet.
Not taking up, not yet. But special thanks to Brian for allowing us to actually have this podcast.
Absolutely.
He could basically just flip a switch and we wouldn't have a podcast anymore. So that's how integral he is to this podcast. And also my other friend Kenny, who does all the music for us. So last year he wasn't able to do the clip music for us. That is the second part of this second anniversary show. But this year he was able to do it. And once again, he knocks it out of the park. It's Kenny Sheldon. You can find him on Facebook. We'll tag him in all the social media stuff. But he does all the music. If you need music for anything, he composes it all himself. So go out there and find him, and enjoy the music that he does for this one. My favorite music that he's ever done for us, I think, is probably the Chewies that he did for us.
Yeah, for sure.
That's one of my favorites. I mean, of course, I like the intro to the theme song to our show, but the theme song for the Chewy Awards is fucking awesome.
It is pretty damn awesome.
I love that one.
I can't wait to hear it again.
Heidi Moneymaker, who is the stunt double for Black Widow and all the Marvel movies. Another one that stands out is Corey Landis stands out. He did the documentary for He-Man. I think that's still waiting to be released.
Toy Masters,
yeah. Toy Masters is the movie. We're still waiting for that to be released, but that was an awesome. That was the first time we ever got somebody to actually talk to us who directed a film or co-directed a film that actually let us see it before it gets released. So I was like, oh shit, we made it. Yeah. It was almost like JJ is going to invite us down and be like, "Hey, you guys want to screen episode 9 at Lucas Ranch?" And be like, "Oh fuck yeah!"
Can't talk about it.
Yeah, we just can't talk about it. But like that would be like that. That's what it was like for us getting to see Corey's documentary. What other notable interviews that would just pop off?
Well, at the expo, we got to talk. Which, if you listen back on this year's Expo, Intergalactic Expo episode, we, at like the 11th hour, literally got a call and said, "Hey, we need you to run this panel because the guy that we hired flaked out on us or just is not returning our calls or whatever." So we sat down and for a couple of hours and put together. I mean, we already had interviews locked in for these guys, but we didn't know we were going to do a panel. So we literally had to redo all our interview questions because we didn't want to double up, say the same things twice. So, but we got to talk to these guys. We got to talk to Frank Ordaz, which was a matte painter for Return of the Jedi and a bunch of movies in the 80s that we all love. We got to talk to C. Andrew Nelson, who's played Darth Vader more than anyone else, and he also worked in as a digital artist, worked on the prequels and also worked at LucasArts. Yeah, made some of the games that I love. And then Mark Dodson, who is famous for the voices of Salacious Crumb in Return of the Jedi and also Mogwai in Gremlins. And then the other notable one, which is one that you actually went after, that was Christy Marsden, who's the granddaughter of the creators of Wonder Woman. That was kind of a fluke. He just kind of got a hold of her one day, and she's like, "Yeah, I'll do your podcast." So 2 days later.
Yeah, we had just reviewed the movie.
Yeah.
Gleaming about it, and then realized that it's just bullshit. So that was an interesting interview. And we also got Amy Ratcliffe, whose star has completely
risen
blown
since
up
we talked to her. Yeah, it must be our. I think it was we did that.
Yeah, we.
No.
Yeah.
Sorry, Amy. I know you did it. She's associate editor, I think, at Nerdist now, but she's really
she did
blown up.
4 panels over at Celebration this past year.
Yeah, Star Wars Celebration.
I don't think if we tried to get her now, she would probably come on now.
No, she'd be like, "I'm too busy. I got my." She's got a podcast. She's got
so much shit going on.
So much going on.
Also, Sarah Kuhn. We had a huge chew on this embraces our femicide episode, and Sarah Kuhn. That was an interview one of those interviews that took almost a year to get.
Yeah, and it
And
was worth
she
it.
was nice. Yeah, it was really great. She came on to talk to us about her book Heroin Complex, and her sequel just released this year, I believe.
Yep.
But a lot of great insight on what's going on in Hollywood and diversity and all that stuff. So we really appreciated all three of those women coming on for those episodes. Geez, what
Yeah,
else?
and if you haven't listened to those, go back and listen to those. Those are all great. I mean, every single person that we've mentioned, every single interview was fantastic. And we did
Oh,
have
I'm sorry. I forgot about my other friend Pete Schultz, who's the head
Oh,
writer
right. God,
at,
why do we
at SNL.
Yeah.
Head writer at for Weekend Update at SNL. He was nice enough to spend time with us in his busy schedule.
Oh, yeah. That
And you'll
dude's
realize
super
how
busy.
busy his schedule actually is to do a TV show. If you listen to that podcast, it's pretty crazy for him to come on and talk to us about certain things that were on the show. So
Yeah. Oh, that's a good pull. I forgot about that. And then also
I'm
our
trying to remember
E3,
everything.
let's see, our E3 correspondent, which hopefully we'll get to
Oh,
talk
that's
to. And
right.
we'll get,
Right.
Yeah, so it's been a busy year for us, and I think this year is going to be proven to be busy as well. There's going to be a lot of content that we're going to generate because there's not I don't think a ton of movies this year that we're going to be seeing, or I don't know. It depends on what kind of pops up, but for right now,
But here's the best part. Here's the best part. We own this business. We could do whatever the hell we want.
that's right.
We could literally
Except
just
make
to fuck
money.
with you. Yeah, that's the one thing we can't do. We could literally just take 4 episodes and cut them up into 4 different parts and just piece them together and just have you fucking baffled on like April Fool's Day. Just be
Actually,
like, what the fuck is this?
Actually, I mean, for our normal listeners, yeah, but someone new would be like, "Oh, just another podcast, cool, whatever." But
Like 1 second we're talking about like Star Wars, the next second we're talking about Transformers, and then Justice League, all like mashed up into one.
and then Barbie.
It'd be really
yeah.
cool if we could. So anyway, so we got 2 episodes. It's this one right now coming up is Cody Stark, who is our honorary member of the Chew Crew. If you didn't catch that video, it's on our Facebook page. Chewing This Pod, I think, is our Facebook page, or Chewing This Podcast is our Facebook page, and we gave him what we do with everybody. We gave him made up shit. We just made it on our computer and just gave it to him and said, "You're an
One of a
honorary member
kind.
now because yes, one of a kind because." We don't know anybody else that would come on as much as he does. So I think this is his 4th time coming on. We talk about a lot of stuff. That's what's coming on next. And what's the episode after that?
After that will be our clip show. I think the first anniversary show we did like 3 parts, but this time we're keeping it a little bit tighter. So we're gonna talk.
Yeah,
to
the second
Cody.
anniversary. I don't even know what the second anniversary, whatever. It's just what it is.
Who gives
so
a shit? So when you hit
yeah.
5, then your 5 timers.
Maybe we'll do something big at 5 if we last 5 years.
like quit.
We will literally drop the mic.
Yeah, just walk away to be static for like an hour.
Yeah, I'd be like, I forgot to turn it off.
And some white noise. You can go to sleep.
Yeah, you hear me snoring in the background. You're like, dude, he fucking dropped the mic and he didn't turn off the mic. The podcast
He's
is
taking a
the
leak.
The podcast is 8 hours long.
You're like, oh, the server's filled up. I don't know. What
Yeah, I
happened.
can't. I don't know. I don't know what happened. Just dead. No, nothing.
Well, the clip show is kind of fun because we have to go back and listen to all our podcasts, which is kind of strange sometimes. But every now and again, it's like I was listening to stuff and I'm like, oh yeah, I forgot about that. Like a little nugget that was super funny or super interesting. And so that's what our clip show is. It just kind of encapsulates, everything that we kind of talked about, and some of
We
it
tried
is,
to tried to fit as much as we possibly could in there, but we also didn't want to make it boring as hell,
Right.
Because of how long it could have possibly been. So we only added things in there that literally that kind of stood out to us over the course of the year. If you're not included in it, apologies. It's just that there's only two of us.
Yeah,
We don't have an intern. We don't have an. See, what's funny is that if we had an unpaid intern, they would be making the same as much as we would be on this podcast. So we don't even have an unpaid intern to listen to the shit. We got to do it ourselves. So that's all we had over. What do we have? Like 60 episodes
to listen
60 something episodes.
Yeah.
There's no way we would have had to start this. We would have had to start this clip show back in January to be able to get all of this fucking done. So
I know. I'm thinking
apologies if we don't.
I'm thinking next year if we do this clip show, I think I'm just gonna start pulling out clips every single episode so that I don't have to.
That
do
would
it
be
at the
smart.
End. Yeah, but we're not that smart.
But if we don't have you in the clip show, it's not that we didn't want you to put you in there. It's just that we didn't have the time or the resources logistically to listen to every single episode and get you in there.
Yeah.
But it doesn't mean that it wasn't an important episode to us, because every episode that we get anybody to get on is important to us.
Yeah, absolutely.
Because I mean, look at our logo. It's a bunch of stick figures. So everyone's important.
Also, I want to remind you guys out there, we are on Instagram and we are on Twitter, and those handles is the same handle. It's at Chew On This Pod. And then if you have any requests, like you want us to like work your bar mitzvah or something like that, like a live podcast show, we're at chewonthispodcast@gmail.com. Also, if you do go to Instagram and find us on there, we started Chew On This meme earlier this year, and it's been, it's been pretty successful, I think. As much as it
always can be. It always boils back down to what we think is funny.
Yeah.
Like, we don't know if anybody else thinks this shit is funny. We just think it's funny and it cracks us up.
So we're going to continue doing the memes. We'll try to keep up with that as much as possible. And but anyway, we just again, we like to thank all our listeners out there for keeping on listening, and we're going to keep doing this for as long as we want to, or as long as we can.
I think we will hire an unpaid intern. His name will be Jerry. And if you want to know who Jerry is, listen to the clip show.
Go to episode 101, I think.
Is it 101?
Well, because
it's the Austin Powers one.
It's the Austin Powers episode, and where we literally abandon that movie in the middle of the podcast and like talk about Subway for the next 25 minutes. But it's freaking hilarious. So hang in
at least
there.
we think it is.
Yeah.
So our new intern for 2018 will be Jerry. If anything fucks up, it's Jerry's fucking fault.
That's right. And then we'll fire his ass and get like a really hot.
We'll get Jerry's sister.
Terry.
I immediately thought of Three's Company when you said Terry.
Oh, yeah. Oh, man. Anyway. All right. So, so this is episode 116, I guess, .1. So this will be our interview with Cody Stark, and then the next podcast, just keep going or download the second
It's not
part.
even... It's not even an interview anymore. It's not even an interview
it's
anymore.
a conversation.
It's just him.
It's a conversation.
It's just him coming on. We stopped interviewing him 3 times ago.
Right. I guess you're right. I guess it's just three of us bullshitting. So
yeah,
So
getting hungry.
Yeah. And then if you hang in there for our second part, it is our clip show, which is full of like good nuggets from different episodes. So hang in there. It's actually a good time. Get on a treadmill and listen to this shit. That's what I do. So anyway. All right. Well, there you go. So we'll start with Cody's or conversation with Cody.
Coffee with Cody.
Coffee with Cody. And then our clip show. All right, everyone. Thank you. Thanks again. Happy anniversary to us, 2nd year. And keep on listening, guys.
Later.
Is this 116?
You're going to ask me that now?
What the fuck?
Hold on.
Shit.
Yeah, it's 116.
God. All right. Here.
Well, we do an intro anyway, so we'll just. It doesn't really matter. We don't have to do anything now.
I'll do it anyway because it's theatrical.
Then we'll be saying it twice if we record a different intro.
Okay. Well, fuck. We just started recording. So anyway, this is our what is this? Part 2 of our 2-year anniversary show. Shit.
It's actually probably going to be part 1 because I don't want to lead.
God
I don't
damn
want
it.
to lead with just clips.
Okay. All right.
Have you guys met?
This happens like all the time.
That's the great thing about podcasts. It's supposed to sound like this.
All right, so welcome,
professional.
So welcome to Chew on This's 2-year anniversary show, and this is part 1, and we have a special guest. He's kind of like the third Beatle, I guess, in this scenario. In this scenario,
I'm from Alabama. I'm not that good at math either, so it's fine.
so we have Cody Stark of Good Day Sacramento on our show for like the gazillionth time. And
we've only been on for 2 years, so it can't be that many.
Yeah.
4? This is your 4th time?
This is my 4th time.
You're gonna be who's that guy that was always on Johnny Carson? That's you on our show.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
You're the guy that's always
Nice.
on.
I was about to say, like, Saturday Night Live, get the...
the Five Timers Club.
Five Timers
Yeah.
Club, yeah.
Next
I
time.
expect, like, a jacket
This
or
is your
something.
4.
Yeah.
This is 4, so it's 5 times.
Yeah, next time I'm getting a jacket.
Get you a jacket and, like, bedazzle it for you. Like in, like, I don't know, what's Good Day's colors? Orange and red?
Black. No,
Orange
I don't
and
know.
red.
No, it's orange and red. You're right.
Orange and red.
Make him look like Liberace, just like, hello. 5-timer on the back.
5. That sounds really bad. That sounds really bad on a
That's
bedazzled,
really bad.
on a bedazzled Liberace jacket.
Get him a bedazzled glove to go with it.
So in Vegas, there was a Liberace museum. I think it closed down,
Okay.
unfortunately, but it was spectacular. It was so great.
Well, you see this room that we're recording in, right, Cody? So there's plenty of room to put like a picture of you in that jacket and you sign it.
I think so. I think so. I'm picking out the proper spot right now.
We'd have to explain it. We're not that famous. People would come in and be like, "Why do you have that guy with your jacket on? And what is this shit all over your desk? Why do you have
there's a lot of-
microphones on your desk?"
There's a lot of Cody shrines out there, though, so I don't think it's that weird.
We'll have to ask your Twitter followers to actually post the pictures of them.
With
There
the,
you go.
The Cody
Yeah, the
shrine.
the Cody shrine, like the candles.
Yeah.
Like that scene in Major League. Instead of like
Oh, yeah.
Joe Boo, it's Cody.
It's Cody. I say
Joe
F you, Cody.
Actually, we actually had Joe Boo, right? We had a few items. So first, let's talk about Star Wars.
Okay.
The Last Jedi.
Uh-huh.
We have been waiting to talk to you. Did you hear you probably didn't even want to listen to our podcast. For that one. You're just right after so for everyone who doesn't know, why would you know anyway? But Cody went to go see The Last Jedi with us at the Esquire IMAX, and we knew we were going to be recording this episode, so we kind of waited. So it's 4 weeks over. It's a few weeks overdue, but I know Cody really liked the movie.
Loved it.
And he looked at us and saw the looks on our faces, and you gave a look of disgust.
I'm not going to the movies with you guys ever
Yeah,
again.
fuck you guys. I'm not going anymore.
Did we see the same movie?
Yeah,
Why aren't they happy?
Were you guys watching Transformers instead?
Don't get me started with Transformers.
I think I said a couple things to Cody, and he looked at me. He's like, "God, man, you're so freaking harsh. You're so harsh. What's wrong with your
which
heart?"
is gonna be funny when we talk about like one of the other subjects we wanted to talk about. because-
Yeah, I know I'm going to get killed for this.
No, I don't know, because we're trying to figure out what the fuck is wrong with us right now, because we are so far off of like Rotten Tomatoes for The Last Jedi. Usually for those type of movies, we're kind of really close, but for some reason, the last 2 movies that me and BJ saw at the same time, like that we both saw recently, we are completely opposite of Rotten Tomatoes.
Yeah, it's almost
Which
like
is
it's
really
SpongeBob SquarePants, like opposite day or something. It's really weird.
I can't figure it out. Like I don't know if like we're getting like I'm getting close to 40, so like maybe I'm getting crotchety.
Yeah, that's what it is.
maybe.
I'm not a doctor, but I just diagnosed you, and yes, you are.
I have no idea what's going on. But anyway, The Last Jedi, you loved it. You
I
absolutely
thought it was
loved
fun. I loved it. I thought it propelled the story further ahead. We got some new characters in there. It wasn't the same, 5 people over and over and over again. I thought it was fun.
Okay.
I even liked the porgs.
What did you?
I wanted Chewie to go to town on it, by the way.
I want to know, like, what did you think how they handled Luke's character?
That was a little odd, but I wrote it off as he's been on that island with some fish nuns and some porgy creatures and drinking a lot of that blue stuff out of a boob.
Green milk.
Was it green?
Green tit milk, yeah.
Yeah, that was from. I'm a little bit a lot of bit colorblind. So it's
okay.
Yeah.
Well, it looks like Dr. Seuss left that part out of his thing. Green eggs and ham and green tit milk. He left that part out. He left that part out. Otherwise, I would have been more prepared for it.
It didn't bother me as much because I remember Kirk had sex with that green chick. And so I was like, okay, Luke's drinking green milk.
That green chick, are you really comparing that green chick to that four-titted walrus?
And then when that happened and he turned and I was like, Jedis are just weird, man.
Yeah.
They're just weird.
He gives her that creepy look
you're
after he
Yeah.
drinks it.
You're acting like a homeless person right now.
Yeah, he's like,
He's like, I'm drinking this green milk out of this tit, and you're gonna like it.
He's wiping, car windshields with his with his cloak.
He's
Eating
cleaning
shit out of the
when he goes
trash.
to work. When he's going to work, he works at a car wash. He's the last in the line of those. He gets the dirtiest rag to dry off the cars and shit. You ever go to one of those car washes and you could see who the tenured dryers are.
Yeah.
They have the nice cloths, and then you got this other guy with this pathetic it's basically like a bath mat. That's Luke.
That's Luke. But he doesn't have to
doesn't
touch
even
it. He
work
just
there.
uses the force.
He just uses the force.
Yeah. I ain't touching that.
Well, it really certainly wasn't as weird as Leia's unconscious spacesuit force ability.
Yes.
That was more of a
Jedi Poppins.
The shit is this?
Jedi Poppins, yeah. Jedi Poppins.
I did not like that at all.
That was weird. That was a little weird.
Well, how about this part? Instead of doing that, if the whole purpose of that was to kill Akbar and get her into a coma, my idea was that if you wanted to do a reflexive unconscious thing, just a reflex of if that bomb exploded, I would have wanted her to hold the bomb with the force and kind of shield everybody. And then because she has not used her force powers, because she's not a Jedi, but just subconsciously she's just doing this like a knee-jerk reaction. And because she's not a full-fledged Jedi and doesn't know how to use the force because she's exerting so much energy,
She passes out.
Poe opens the door just in time to pull her through, and everybody else gets sucked out, and then she goes into a coma. That was my idea after I saw that movie.
Yeah, that would have been better.
But the second thing we talked about is it would have been interesting if she kind of pushed Holdo into the transport and said go, and then she shot the hyperspaced into the dreadnought.
Yeah, that would have been
awesome.
really cool.
Great ending. I think the problem with that, or not the problem, is that they probably already filmed that ending. Because she died when post-production was done.
Yeah.
She was done. She was done months or two before she, after she died. The production was months before that, right?
The plan was that they wanted her to be in number 9 to confront her son. That was
which would have been awesome.
That was why they kept her. But they could have CG'd that or something, but they refused to do that. So
all you needed to do was to have her sit down and then have a body double, close up her hands.
Yeah.
You don't need to see her hands doing it.
Right.
And then just have her, do the scene where she closes her eyes and just CG that image onto whatever. It's fucking ILM. They could have done it.
Yeah.
And then it would have been a great send-off because now I'm guessing she dies off camera.
Yeah, I don't know how they're going to do it.
Yeah, maybe I'm thinking Poe's going to be looking at a memorial or something, and now he's the leader of the resistance.
Oh, like a time jump kind of thing?
Yeah. That's what I'm thinking.
3 to 5 years, 3 to 5 year time jump, and it's in the opening scroll. Leia, General Leia has passed and Poe has taken up the resistance and blah blah
Yeah.
blah blah blah.
That's what we're guessing. But we would have loved that send off where she did like one of the coolest things ever done in a Star Wars
Yeah,
movie.
because that was cool.
Yeah, it was cool, and I thought and that would have been cool to have Laura Dern. I kind of ended up liking Laura Dern's character when she found out that she had a story
Yeah,
arc in it.
I didn't want her to die.
Yeah, I
was like,
didn't
"You
want her
need
to
to
die.
stick
I was like, I
around."
want more of her because we already know Carrie Fisher's dead,
Uh-huh.
so we know Princess Leia's not coming back, right? So now you just killed off two really good, motherly type figures, and very powerful figures too. The short amount of screen time that Laura Dern had, I really liked her in it, even when she was being a bitch to Poe. And don't get me started on whole Poe's thing too, because Poe's. So Poe is responsible for killing 99% of the fucking resistance.
Oh, absolutely.
He killed all those bombers, right?
Right.
And then by doing that, the whole slow ass cat and mouse chase happens, right? And it's like watching the white Bronco that go 5 miles an hour. So that whole shit happens because of what he does, right? And then he sends Finn on this wild goose chase to go do this other shit that inadvertently costs the resistance all those
Transports. Yeah.
right, the little transports.
Yeah.
So then, by doing all that, it all dates back to Poe.
Yeah.
Poe fucking killed Poe killed more people than the resistance.
Yeah,
did
he
in this
really
movie.
more than the First Order did.
Yeah, on the resistance wall it says MVP and it's Poe Dameron's face.
It has how many days without any casualties, and they went 0.
First Order member of the year, Poe Dameron.
Like it's McDonald's or something. Like employee.
He's
of the
wearing that
month.
little green hat, and he looks all pissed off from it.
Well, okay, so if we're going to nail this movie,
Yeah,
the bombers, I was like, they're really slow,
yeah.
and then they're using gravity to drop these bombs. And I was like, you're in space. You don't have to use gravity.
Well, that was explained later that you don't apparently freeze to death and your head doesn't explode in space by Princess Leia or
Right,
General Leia.
and there's explosions in space too.
Well, I mean, you suspend you suspend belief on the fact that there's sound in Star Wars and space,
Right.
and and explosions and fire. But what's universal, like I told BJ, in all of these movies, it doesn't matter if it's comic books, sci-fi, reality. If you get sucked into space, you're going to die.
Right.
But General Leia does
right away.
because
Right
not only
away.
does she force grab Mary Poppins herself across space subconsciously, unconscious, I should say, she also somehow
she
creates
becomes
a force spacesuit.
Force bubble.
Yeah, something.
Yeah.
Force
It's a force bubble.
Like
Come
an
on.
Aquaman.
like an
Yeah,
Aquaman.
exactly. It was an Aquaman force bubble. I don't know what the problem is here, guys. Come on.
We overlooked the force
We
bubble.
got to get right over the bad guy's ship to drop these bombs because
Gravity.
Gravity.
Like,
Well,
what?
if you really want to argue the whole the Poe Dameron thing, the first part was his fault, but Holdo could have said this is my plan all along, is to get to Crate, but she doesn't let him in on the plan. So he goes behind her back and has Finn and Rose do this wild goose chase, and only to make things worse. So if Holdo would have said, "Hey Poe, just chill the fuck out. We're gonna be going to this planet where where the Resistance used to be, and we'll be fine." But see, even that doesn't make sense. I was like, well, why? Okay, if they can light speed and follow you, why don't you just light speed to Crate and get the hell off your ship and get down to the surface quickly? It's like that would have been done. It would have been over with.
Yeah, but they would have tracked him to Holdo. I mean,
It doesn't
to that
it-
base.
It doesn't matter. They were following them there anyway. So it just didn't make sense to
But they didn't know. I don't think they knew that they had other ships there.
I think her plan was to
Because don't forget, the only way they escape off that planet is because the Millennium Falcon shows up, and they're lucky that Rey knows the Force to be able to move all those boulders. So
Yeah.
even if they light sped to that base, they had no way of getting off that fucking planet.
Well, they had the
Oh,
but
you're
they have
right.
the tracker.
This movie was terrible.
They have the tracker and all. Well, no. See, here's the thing, though.
There's some really good parts in it.
we could forgive a lot of this shit. It's just the fact that what they did with Luke pissed me off so bad that now the other shit's bugging me even more.
I don't. The biggest issue I have with it, and yeah, the biggest issue I have with it is that he doesn't even try. He doesn't even like. So it ends up being like a miscommunication, a really bad miscommunication because he tried to kill his nephew, but at the same time, still like, hey, you know what? I was going to, I didn't. I'm sorry, Ben. Please, let me just talk to you. Blah blah blah. That never fucking happens.
Right.
Never happens, right? And then when he finds out that Ben also goes on a fucking murdering spree and just like kills the entire Jedi Temple and all the younglings or Jedi that were in there, he just disappears. And I understand like the whole like yeah, it's my fault, blah 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 blah. But it reminded me of The Dark Knight Rises, where Batman just fucking quits because his ex-girlfriend dies. If anything, I mean, you started this whole Batman thing because your parents died.
Yeah.
Now you're gonna quit because your ex-girlfriend died.
Anything you double
Batman's
down.
parents died? What?
Martha. No.
Never heard this.
Yeah, apparently, if Batman's gonna kill you, you just utter the name Martha, and he's gonna let you go. You're instantly best friends.
It's a safe word.
Some of the penguins writing that down.
Yeah.
Martha, yeah.
Yeah.
But like that's the problem I had with Luke is that he never actually. This is the same guy who was like, "Fuck this! I'm gonna face the Darth Vader, the baddest dude in the galaxy, and then somebody who's more powerful than that guy." And he's in the throne room, just those two people, right? And he's just, then this thing happens with his nephew, and he doesn't even try again. He just disappears.
Yeah.
That's the part I had a problem with. You want to force project, fine. I don't give a shit. I mean, I would have preferred it much better because there's no drama anymore to it. Like, there's no cool part in it anymore when you see it the second time. Like, who in their right mind is going to go see The Last Jedi and think that part's still cool because he's not really there.
Oh, I see what you're saying.
Yeah.
Like, he's not really there. There's no... you knew he wasn't, but I would have... Our ending was he actually goes to the planet because there's no reason... I was hoping that it was going to come full circle where he actually pulls the X-wing out of the water.
Oh, yeah.
Because he, remember, he couldn't do it in Empire. And then you already established that Yoda was going to be there, right? So you have Yoda standing, like, in the background watching.
Going like, fuck yeah, you did it.
It's about fucking time. Size doesn't matter. I've been telling you for fucking how long, right? And he finally pulls the X-Wing out, and all you see is the X-Wing coming towards him, and then it cuts back to the base. And you know Luke is on the way.
Yeah.
And then he fucking shows up, right? He shows up the same way Rey... Right, he does all that shit, and instead of Rey opening the back end, he comes in that way, says hi, does his thing with Leia, and then walks out by himself.
That would have been badass.
And then what I was hoping for was he takes Kylo Ren's ship and takes it and just uses the Force and uses it where he like knocks over all the AT-ATs.
Ooh.
Yeah, like with one fell swoop, like dominoes.
And then if you wanted Holdo to still do it, right? After all the ships blow up, or I'm sorry, the AT-ATs or whatever they're called now, because they walk on their knuckles apparently now, which doesn't make any sense. But Kylo Ren comes out, they fight, and Hux sees is going to take a shot at Kylo Ren because he thinks now is the time to kill him. Because remember, he was going to before, but he backed off.
Yeah.
Now he takes a shot at Kylo Ren. Kylo Ren, like Jedi reflexes, blocks it and kills Leia, who's now outside the base watching this happen.
Oh.
And that's how she dies.
Quick. You got Legos. Let's do this. Let's film this real quick.
Sign a petition.
Well, he wouldn't. Well, Kathleen Kennedy would not return my phone call, so I could not.
No.
You too?
I know. It's really annoying.
There's a scene in that movie that is beautiful. It's like probably my favorite scene outside of the lightsaber battle with Rey and Kylo back to back. But there's a scene where he goes on the Millennium Falcon and, in R2, he's like, there's nothing that's going to make me join or whatever. And R2 plays that video and he's just that was a cheap trick. And I thought, that is fucking awesome because I thought to myself, okay, he's going to do something about it, and then he just projects himself there, and I was like, well,
before that, he tries to burn books.
Right, which you see him on the Millennium Falcon later on when Finn's fiddling with something. You see all the books like Ray stole them, essentially. So yeah, but I mean, it kind of cheapens that scene now because R2 does that little thing, and you're like, oh, that's the spark. They
Like,
keep mentioning sparks and
Like,
hubris.
how cool would that have been if you saw just the back of the X-wing, knowing Luke had already pulled it out of the water, and R2 is in his X-wing one last time?
Ooh.
I mean, that would have been just, oh my god! So you just gave me goosebumps right there. Where R2 is like, he's like, come on, buddy, one last ride or some shit.
I don't know, whatever it is, because now you have two callback moments, right? You have the Yoda standing behind, watching the Force Ghost Yoda, watching Luke finally lift an X-wing out of the water, even bigger than out of the Dagobah swamps, right? Because it's all the way down that canyon, so even more powerful. Now, he couldn't even lift it out of the swamp before. Now he's lifting it out of the fucking ocean over a fucking like a giant mountain, right? And then you have the callback with R2D2 in the X-wing.
That would have been good. Awesome. That would have been good.
But no,
it's not what we got.
That's not what we got. Forced spacesuits.
Projection.
and force projection.
Yeah, he's like David Copperfield and shit. I was like, God. Look at my magic baby.
Why didn't he just have R2 deliver that message again instead? Like he did in Return of the Jedi?
Right.
The Jabba?
Exactly. I know.
See, I like to go and turn my brain off when I go to movies. Or you guys keep your brains on? Mine's like at 30%.
Well, it depends on what's happening. There's things that all the things that we just mentioned just pop out of the movie for us. Like for me, I don't know how it is for BJ, but for me, like it's Star Wars, so I'm in with it, right? I'm in with it. But when certain shit happens, like, wait a minute, how did her head not explode, and how is she force pulling herself?
Yeah,
she should be dead. There's so many ways she could have died
It
in
took
space.
me right out of the movie, big time.
So that happened. I'm like, oh shit. And then in the beginning of the movie,
there was too many jokes, like were taking me out of the movie too.
The Poe joke in the beginning with the just went on like too many times for me. And it made me think of Thor Ragnarok, which we didn't like too well either, because of all the jokes. I felt like Thor should have played it straight, and it would have been funnier for everybody else to be doing it around him. Because if everybody's telling jokes, you're just waiting for it. I mean, every person in that movie that was a headliner had one form of a joke or another.
Oh yeah.
Well, a lot of the problems with Thor was that you didn't get to sit emotionally in with a lot of the shit that was happening.
Yeah.
And then before a joke would just take you right out of it, like immediately, and you're like, what the hell? I didn't even get to just revel in what just fucking happened. Like your dad
like
just
when Odin
died.
There was a joke like 5 minutes later.
Right,
like
right.
Not even when Hela showed up, there was a joke between Loki and Thor right after your father just died in front of you.
Yeah, that wasn't, or your whole world just blew up, and you're like,
because they're gods, right? So it's not like your dad died, had a heart attack when he was 40 or died of old age at 60. It's fucking Odin. He's been there since he's been there since at least before the Vikings, right?
Or counterpoint, maybe they were like, it was a good run.
Now let's joke about it. You can't joke about it at 900 years, but when he reaches 1,000, then you can start joking about it.
It's easy.
It's
like a whole line of Hallmark cards for that.
Yeah.
So, all right. Well, that's enough of The Last Jedi. What else do we have on the docket? What do we want to talk about?
Let's do what we always do. The CW shows.
Oh, the CW shows.
How you liking it so far?
I love the crossover event. I thought it was amazing.
This year I loved it a lot better than last year.
Last year it was 4 shows that just had characters stop on by. This year it was actually a crossover.
I think it was a true crossover, 2 4-hour movie, big time. We loved it. We thought it was so way better. I think a lot better planned. It made sense. I still felt like they need to tie up loose ends on their own shows before they do a crossover, but this one was done to the point where they were actually integrating their storylines into the crossover as well, so it wasn't as glaring. You know, because last year it was Savitar's running around, but we got to go take care of this other crap. And Savitar never shows up to that would be the time to show up and take advantage, So anyway, but I thought the crossover, every episode just kept getting better. And I liked Supergirl and, the bad Supergirl and Bad Arrow were in a relationship and they were, masks like covered and all that stuff, and they were pretty evil. So I don't know what stood out for you in the crossover.
I loved Ray, like the Ray.
Oh yeah,
Yeah, it was the guy from Being Human, the UK version. I love
right.
that guy.
I can't. Yeah, that was pretty awesome.
Like I want a whole. I know they're doing like an animated spin-off of the Ray on the CWC, but I want like a Ray show now. That was
instead,
cool.
instead we're
Kicking
getting
Nazis every week.
that would be pretty cool. I think instead we're getting. Is it Black Lightning come out? Next
Yeah,
month?
Black Lightning. I was supposed to
Yeah.
go to the junket for that,
Oh, what
and
happened?
at the last second, the station was like, we need you to stay here because somebody's got the sniffles, and I'm like, you son of a.
Oh, I thought you said you had to do like air traffic or some shit.
Yeah, I was so
They
annoyed.
give you like
'cause-
the worst job before you're like, nope, you got to do this.
Wait, I can't do the Black Lightning premiere because I got to read weather. This is bullshit.
Yeah, exactly. She goes, "Yeah, you're just gonna be so tired." I was like, "What are you talking about? I'm gonna fly to Los Angeles and stay in a hotel with like really high thread count sheets. I'm never gonna sleep better than that weekend." But no,
That sucks. Well, at least it wasn't like going to meet like George Lucas. That would have been worse. You're like,
Yeah,
I don't give
yeah.
a shit if you have sniffles.
You're like, I'm going. I'm already there. I'm not.
I've already checked out. This conversation isn't even happening. I'm never going to remember this. Everything you're saying now doesn't matter to me.
just blink.
Yeah. Everything you're saying now, all I keep hearing is, I'm going to see George Lucas. Fuck off.
So yeah, the crossovers were great. I think I don't know what's happening with the storylines right now because I've kind of like it's been a while now.
We get
almost a week, right?
Supergirl is just get the crap beat out of her by Rain.
That was a good ending.
Yeah, that was
Oh
good.
yeah, that was okay. I remember that now.
Badly, too. She got fucked up.
She got beat. The
It was
shit.
like they did it. It reminded me of the scene in Superman Returns when he was getting the shit beat out of him because it's fucking Superman and he's like basically begging for his almost begging for his life.
Yeah.
And that was like really hard to fucking watch. And then watching this scene too, that was
Yeah.
really hard to watch. Watching Supergirl get her ass kicked, which is kind of weird because she's supposed to be more powerful than Superman. There's been times in the comic books too where she's been more powerful than Superman. So I don't know, maybe not in the DCEU, but
That's going on, and then Barry Allen is on trial for killing.
right, the trial of Flash or something
yeah,
like that.
Trial of
that
Flash.
sort. Yeah, they're
That'll
gonna run
get-
out of like major storylines soon.
That'll get resolved
Yeah.
in 20 minutes. Well, yeah, because they don't ever take a storyline and like go with it for a few episodes. It's finished in like half an episode. They're done.
Well, hey, Flashpoint
you know?
was done in 20 minutes.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was crazy.
It's like, this is one of the best stories. Like I love Flashpoint. It's one of my favorite comic book stories of all time. Like Thomas Wayne gets to be Batman and Martha Wayne is the Joker. How
Yeah.
fucking awesome is
Oh,
that?
it's great. Yeah.
And when they announced that they're going to do Flashpoint, I was like, how the fuck are you going to do that? And they answered me, we're just going to end it in 20 minutes. You're just going to give Diggle a girl instead of a boy, or a boy instead of a girl.
Yeah.
And that's like, I'm like,
That's it.
that's the fucking major thing. I mean, Thomas Wayne was fucking Batman, and Diggle's got a fucking different gender for a kid. That's bullshit. He traded out Diggle's kid for Thomas Wayne being Batman and Martha Wayne being the Joker.
Well, it's probably like they wouldn't let them do anything because
Well,
every time they try to do something, they're like,
do
no,
something else. I mean, that's
Can't
a
do that character.
major.
Can't
That's
do
like
this character.
Yeah, that's a major plot line that, or a major story that ends in 20 minutes.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think Cody's right. I think the DCU are they're trying to plan a Flash movie, and instead of an origin story, they decided they wanted to do a Flashpoint movie, and that's what they're working on right now.
I don't know how they're going
So-
to do that because the rumor is that that's how they're going to pull like, Ben Affleck out of it and all that
Right.
shit. So
What, and have Jeffrey
Really?
Dean Morgan as the comedian doing the Batman?
Yes.
I would like that.
I would like that too.
That would be cool.
Yeah.
But that doesn't matter because like the Flashpoint, they're still the same person. Like Bruce Wayne, when he's Bruce, he's still Bruce, right? He doesn't change
Right.
his face.
No.
Like that, how you can explain that? Like you can have it in multiple Earths. You could do that, but the Flashpoint can't rewrite faces. Like
Well, you could kill Ben Affleck and then bring Batman from another multiverse into their universe.
You know, if they were smart, they'd be like, "Fuck it, we're gonna bring back."
Batman Beyond.
No. They would do
Oh.
what's his face? Who was Robin in The Dark Knight Rises? Why can't I think?
Joseph
Gordon-Levitt.
Gordon-Levitt, yeah.
They would bring him from that Earth and bring him over to play Batman or Bruce Wayne. That would be
I think
Batman.
Maybe it's time for Batman just to take a little time out. You know what I'm saying?
Like Wolverine.
Yeah, just do Darkwing. You know what I'm saying? Like,
Did you see the thing online today or yesterday that somebody imagined Michael Keaton for the older Batman a Batman Beyond movie?
ooh,
Where it's set like 50 years into the future or whatever.
Yeah.
That would be fucking sick.
that'd be
I
great.
would watch.
Which
that
means they're
movie.
not
He's like-
going to do
No,
it.
they're totally not going to do it. 'Cause that sounds like it would be fun.
Well, I don't think Marvel would let him do it actually. So I'm pretty sure he has something in his contract that he can't go back over to DC or go.
Oh,
to
really?
DC. Well, he's not. His character's not dead. If his character was dead, they could probably do it.
Oh, yeah.
His
Yeah, the
character's
only-
still alive, and he knows
the
who
only
Spider-Man
one-
is.
The only
Yeah.
one that could move between worlds is what's his name? Josh Brolin. Well, actually, it's not. Actually, that's not DCU, is it?
No,
It's
it's
Marvel.
Marvel.
It's
It
still
was-
Marvel.
it
but
was a
just
different
different
studio.
studios.
It
Yeah,
was.
Yeah.
yeah.
Not
Yeah, it was
anymore.
Fox, but not anymore.
Not anymore. I wonder how they're going to allow Disney to get away with that.
I
Because
don't
they
know.
own like all. They
be
already
monopoly.
paid for it just on the movies alone because the Disney acquisition of Star Wars or Lucasfilm costs $4 billion.
$4 billion.
Yep.
Yeah.
But
and they
they already
the
made
movies
that
have
back
that.
with the movies finally made that with 3 movies,
Mm-hmm.
but they had already made that back with the merchandise.
Oh,
Oh,
yeah.
God, yeah. Yeah.
So like people are saying like they made back their $4 billion in just 3 movies. I'm like, no, they did it a long time ago.
Yeah.
They did that
Yeah.
probably on the first Force Friday.
Yeah. From us.
the
All
first
three
Force
of
Friday
us.
sucked.
Yeah.
All of this has been profit since then. Who the
Yeah.
fuck are you kidding?
Yeah, they. I know. I bet Lucas is like, shit. I should have sold it for like $10 billion.
Yeah.
But what is the other acquisition? Oh yeah, Pixar. Pixar they paid like $7 billion or something. They paid a lot of money for that.
But that was
And Marvel they only paid
they
$4
just
billion, and that franchise has already made like $12 billion or something
Yeah.
like that.
But that was when they acquired Pixar. That was like their first major acquisition.
Yeah,
now
can you
they're just
believe-
hoarding all these
Can
major
you believe
properties.
George Lucas owned Pixar, right? Like back in the
Yes.
day, and he
Yeah.
sold it to Steve Jobs for like a dime or something for like
For
really
$1 million.
cheap. Yeah, and then God, from there, it's unbelievable that
And then
I think that
Steve Jobs sold it to Apple or Pixar. No,
Pixar,
like
I
Pixar
don't
bought him out, right, or something like that for
I th-
26 million.
I don't know, something like that.
It wasn't as big as it would have been like now today.
Yeah, but Disney buying them out for $7 billion or $4 billion, it's in the billions. I know that is crazy, and they keep cranking out hits. I mean, they're great films.
Did you see Coco?
I have not seen Coco yet.
Oh, it's really good.
I saw Jumanji.
That was fun.
I liked it.
It was good. I liked it better than
Oh
Last
shit,
Jedi.
we could actually talk about that because I watched Jumanji today too.
And
And I actually, yeah, you're like, and so what? I loved it. I had such a good time watching that movie.
It really was fun, wasn't
Yeah,
it?
it
It was
was.
a lot of fun.
yeah, I love The Rock in it. I love Kevin Hart, Karen Gillian. Is it Gillian?
Yeah.
Yeah, I just
God,
thought it
she's
was
gorgeous.
I just thought it was really smart the way they did it because I'm like, oh god, another remake. This is stupid. But they really took really great care of like all 4 of those characters and also a nod to the you had Alan Parrish.
Did you pick
his
up the
house?
Did you pick up the part that I told you that was going to annoy you?
Oh, when the Scorpion King comes out and kills everybody, or right?
No,
No,
not
Brendan
that part.
Fraser. Brendan Fraser kills
Yeah.
The Rock.
No,
with the
not
spear?
that part. No,
Oh, what?
I was lying. That doesn't happen.
was
When they
waiting
got
for it.
when they got when the game sent in the original movie, somebody remind me, I don't know. Did Robin Williams' character get sent back to when he first played the game?
Yes, but
He
yes, but that only worked because the both of them, him and the girl, started it in the 1960s. So so you can argue that when they win, they go back to the beginning. But this one was in 2 different timelines because the one kid started in the 96, and
Yeah.
these kids started in 2017. So they all went to their prospective timelines.
Right. So then when they got out of detention, they finally caught up with him.
Pretty much. And Colin Hanks, who was the kid, grown up, Colin Hanks went back to 1996, lived out his life.
But they passed. Here's my problem with that. They passed that house every single day going to school.
Right.
In the time frame that had already passed while they were in the game, right?
Yeah, but I mean, I know you're messing with time again.
Yeah, time travel's hard.
Time travel's hard. But
Wibbly
see,
wobbly.
Well, I love time travel movies, but because I love them so much, I always find a problem with time travel movies.
Yeah,
that's
so
the
Cody,
problem right there. It's like they're walking past that house.
Okay, yeah, but you also have to think at the beginning of the film, they walk past the house and it's all fucked up because the kid had already been gone for 20 years.
Yeah,
and it's all
but if
dilapidated.
you send them back,
then they go into the game in 2017. Right. They win it. That kid goes back to 1996. They wake up in 2017 out of detention. They break the game. They're walking home and they walk past the house and they're like, "Whoa, how's that house all fixed up?" And you're like, "Oh shit," because the kid went back and never was missing, and therefore the house never got dilapidated, or the guy didn't become a crackhead or whatever. And so now all the time is fixed, and then that kid comes up to him like he recognizes him, like he knows. That's the one part that got me in the whole movie. Like the whole movie, I had a good time, and then at the end when he said, "I named my daughter after you, Bethany," I was like, "Oh god damn it." Like I rolled a tear. I was like, why am I rolling a tear in Jumanji? Like, God. And I didn't roll a tear in Last Jedi. Like, what's wrong there?
Because you were probably like me. You were fucking annoyed at The Last Jedi. Like when he died, I'm like, that's how he fucking goes out?
I mean,
this is bullshit.
The closest I got was when R2 started playing Leia's message.
I
got really emotional over that. But
yeah.
I actually rolled a tear when he said, "I named my daughter after you because you saved my life." I was like, fuck.
Jumanji.
Yeah, in Jumanji.
And your kids are looking at, "Dad, are you okay?
Oh,
you need to see a therapist."
What the fuck
half
is
the
wrong
time
with
my
you, old
kid
man?
does,
Jumanji.
yeah. Half the time he does look at me and goes, "What's the matter with you?" Because I took him to Toy Story 3 all that time ago, and I was like literally bawling at the end. And he's like,
God, yeah.
He's like, "Daddy, what's wrong with you?" And I'm like, "It's just so sad, and you're gonna grow up and leave me." And I was like saying all this shit.
That's what you said to him?
Yeah, and he's just like he's like 7, and he's like, "What the fuck are you talking about?"
So I took my kids to see what's the Guardians movie with Santa Claus and Easter Bunny?
Rise of the Guardians.
Rise of the Guardians.
Yeah.
So I'm a big William Joyce guy, the guy that wrote those books.
Yeah.
I love this guy.
Yeah.
Now those stories, the does Santa Claus know the Easter Bunny and stuff? William Joyce's daughter, when she was a little girl, went to her dad and said, "Hey, does Santa Claus know the Easter Bunny?" And he was like, "Oh, that's interesting." So he wrote these books for her.
Huh.
Well, she ends up she had some sort of cancer, and she died like a couple months before the movie came out.
Oh.
Now I knew this backstory, right?
Yeah.
So I'm at the theater with my family and everything, and I took the kids, and we're watching the movie, and I'm having a great time. I'm just loving this and everything. And as we walked in, there was all these people who were like, "Hey, it's the TV guy." I was like, "Oh, yeah, TV guy." And so we sit down, the lights go off, and we're watching the movie, and I'm just enjoying the hell out of it.
Yeah.
And then at the very end, a card comes up and says, "This is for William Joyce's daughter." And I lose it. I mean, I lose it. So these big tears are coming down my face, but it's still dark. So it's fine.
Yeah.
Nobody knows.
Nobody knows the TV guy's crying.
But then, boom, lights come up. And then everybody looks at me at the same time. And I've got like my shirt's wet because I was crying so hard. My kids are like, "Dad, are you okay?" And I'm like, no, I'm not okay. The people around are like, "Man, you're kind of sad, TV guy." I was like, "Yeah, leave me alone."
Should have said like I sat on my balls or something. Like make something up.
Yeah, it would have been better than the truth.
Yeah. Jack Frost was the name of my first dog.
Yeah, make some shit up. Make anything up other than the real reason. What was the movie that was Finding Dory? I didn't cry during that, and that's how I judged that movie. Like that I didn't cry.
That's right.
I was like, I gave it like during that review, I was like, you know what? What's really sad is the reason why I didn't like this movie as much as people are liking it is because I didn't cry. I did not cry during this movie.
There was no Up montage to
Yeah.
make me
Oh
lose
my
my
God.
mind.
I remember going to see Up. You don't know the story. BJ does. I'm going to see this movie. Like, it's Pixar. I got to go see this movie, right? But we don't go like right away. We go like 3 weeks later. And we're sitting in the back. Luckily, there's like maybe 3 other families there. Everybody's got a kid, but us, right? And you know, the intro for Up comes up, and I'm watching this. I'm like, oh, this is cute. That kid's chubby. This is funny. And oh, that's a girl. Okay. Oh, cool. They're falling in love. And then you know, it goes through the whole thing. 5 minutes in a fucking Pixar movie, and I am like, and my mom had just died of cancer too.
Oh God, no!
And I'm watching this, and I'm like, oh fuck you, and I'm like, I'm like crying like you were over the card, and I'm crying, and everybody's like, you know, the person I'm with is like, are you okay? I'm like, yep. Okay. And I'm like, fuck this movie. This 5 minutes in, I've never cried.
I want
5
my money
minutes into
back.
the movie. That's like if the ending of Old Yeller was in the fucking beginning. Spoilers.
But then the rest of that movie is just so charming. You know?
Yeah, it's one of their quirkier movies. But God, the beginning of Up, Jesus Christ, that's. If you don't cry at the beginning of Up and at the end of Toy Story 3, you're dead inside.
Yeah, you're
a
inside,
robot.
Yeah.
I mean, because like that was supposed to be the last movie, so I had every intention knowing that was going to be it. I'm never going to see Woody, and I'd not grown up with them, but like I've watched all their all the Toy Story movies. They just getting better and better and better. So I kind of did grow up with them a little bit in that time frame, and it was like when he was saying goodbye to Woody, or Woody was saying goodbye to him. It was like I was saying goodbye to Woody, and I was crying.
Yeah.
No,
and then I started thinking like, what if my Transformers were actually real, and they were like this too? Like I treated my toys so
Goodbye,
fucking
Optimus
horribly.
Prime. That's the last one.
You were that neighbor kid. That
Yeah, no. I did paint Grimlock, but I was like, oh my God, I need to find my old toys
Because
this is how they feel.
They go through all the toys, and I was like. And you said the same thing. I was like, don't talk to Woody. Don't talk to Woody.
Yeah.
Like, he's going through all the toys, and it's like becoming more and more emotional as it goes. And you're like, fuck you, don't talk to Woody. And he does it.
Stop
and
talking
like,
about these toys.
Yeah,
I'm getting emotional just thinking about that scene right now.
You're all hugging Megatron. You're like, I love you, Megatron.
Right
Yeah.
I love you, Megatron. Bye, Megatron. Grimlock. Start naming off all these
And
Transformers.
He-Man. Or like my Mask toys. Did you ever have Mask?
I had
No,
Mask.
what was that?
That was a cartoon.
Flying car and shit.
Yeah, basically their vehicles transformed into other vehicles.
Oh, nice.
Like this green motorcycle transformed into a helicopter, which is like some of the that's fucking dangerous as hell.
Yeah.
There's no seatbelt. Like there's no seatbelt on a motorcycle, and
You're
they
like,
you take this as a helicopter.
What's the one mode of transportation that could be more dangerous than riding a motorcycle? Oh, a helicopter. Big
It
spinny
would have been
blades.
safer if it turned into a submarine.
What was it in Big where they were? It transformed a robot into a building.
Yeah. A building that transforms.
What's fun
Is
in
that big?
Yeah.
Big, yeah.
Yeah, that wasn't big.
He's like, what kind of fun is this shit?
Well, let's play with that, and that's probably how it gets done too. Like I always thought Big was awesome because that's when I was really into toys. Like, oh my God, there's Eternia, because there was that big poster in his office.
Oh yeah.
And I was like, oh, those are all He-Man toys, and what he's playing with right now, that's from Quicksilver, the cartoon Quicksilver. You remember that one?
No.
Oh shit.
I was, I'm a little older, but when I saw that movie, I was like, there's a fucking job where you can do this. I'm like, I want that job.
I'm rethinking a lot of my decisions.
Every kid was like, I want that job. I want that job where I get to make toys.
When he calls his secretary and he's like, I want to watch, Super Bowl 20, whatever that was.
80 Super Bowl, the 86 Giants Super Bowl.
Yeah, I was like, what? You could do that? And she just brings it to him. I was like, holy crap.
And then he gets that like ridiculous apartment in New York City.
Oh yeah.
The one with the giant loft.
Yeah.
And I was like, let me get this straight. This fucking 14-year-old kid turns big. Nothing bad happens to him. He gets a dream job creating toys.
He gets laid.
And this is back in the VCR day too. His
And you
secretary
want to
can
be
edit
young
out
again,
the
you
commercials.
idiot?
Yeah, right. And he has that kick-ass apartment in New York City, and he wants to go back to fucking playing stickball.
Yeah, I'd be like, forget that.
Clearly, you are not an adult because nobody would want to do that.
I would, if he had enough money, he could have got the Zoltron machine, just put it in his loft, and he could just go back and forth all the time.
Oh yeah, that's big too. There
Big
you
two, electric boogaloo.
Big two.
go. Electric boogaloo. Big again. This time it's his son that does it.
So stupid.
Big 2 electric boogaloo. It has to be set in the 80s still though.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, like
Is it
what
Zoltan or Zoltar?
Zoltan.
Zoltar.
Zoltar,
Zoltan
yeah.
is the guy from
Zoltan.
G.I. Joe.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
And the big 2 electric boogaloo, Zoltar's in the back. He's spinning records and shit.
Yeah.
While everybody's breakdancing. While Tom Hanks is breakdancing with his kid. And they keep switching back and forth because CG's better now. They can switch back and forth, like one gets bigger while the other one, like the chorus, Tom Hanks is big. And then in the verse, the son's big, and it just keeps reversing.
Dude, listen, you are not that
gold.
far off. You're not that far off, man. I bet you someone out there is listening to this. They're gonna be like, "That's a great idea." Like
Yeah,
Tom Hanks. Tom Hanks
Yeah.
has a Tom Hanks has a son, right? And he's
Yeah.
like treating him like shit, and like, "Come on, dude, you're not doing anything right." And he's like, "Oh, I want to be big like you." And then he like, and he, he's like, "Dad, you told me about that Zoltar machine, whatever." Whatever, like
How you got
he
laid
tells him about
how
it.
you screwed like a 29-year-old at age 14.
Yeah, he tells him. He's like, son, when I was your age, 13, I had a job. I fucked this girl every night. I made a lot of money.
Now I work at Walmart. His job was better when he was 14.
Yeah, he was 14. It's all downhill from there.
Yeah.
So
I
the
peaked at
kid
14.
Got a
does
beer belly.
research.
He's wearing wife beaters.
I just have this image right now of like some Hollywood producer with a big giant pile of cocaine going, "This is great." Ah, yes.
That's literally how Michael Bay gets anywhere.
This is amazing. Keep going, guys.
We're going to have this giant explosion, and then we're going to show Devastator's balls. Perfect. Print it.
Oh, God,
Print
that's
it.
terrible.
So like, then he finds he's like, Dad, you said it was a Zoltar machine. Or then he goes and like finds it and becomes big. And I don't know what that would be in modern age, but maybe he becomes a YouTube sensation or something. I don't know.
Instead of playing that FAO
He develops
Schwartz
an
piano.
app. Yeah.
Instead of playing that FAO Schwartz piano, he does it on his iPhone.
Yeah, he's playing cat piano.
While he's like cutting Fruit Ninja.
Right. You might as well just go through all the classics. Like go to Ferris Bueller's Day Off, and his kid takes a day off or some shit. Or
Yeah, but Ferris Bueller would be like, that movie would end in 5 minutes because
He'd be
Ferris
like, I
Bueller
know
would
you're
know all the
faking.
tricks.
Yeah,
like, I
that's
know you're
true.
fucking faking. You know why I know? Because your palms smell like your breath.
They smell like Cheetos. I know.
Yeah. And it's like, turn off your fucking phone because I know you're doing snoring sound effects to your phone. I did this way before there was any iPhones. You little shit, go to school.
And credits.
Yeah, over. And then the song comes on. The famous song at the end.
Bow, bow.
Yeah.
Go to school. Bow, bow.
Yeah. Credits.
You're not fooling anybody. Bow, bow.
Charlie Sheen is still in the police station. Except now he's got AIDS instead.
And he's like, what? He's like in his 60 at this point.
Yeah, he's still handcuffed to that same bench.
I'm telling you, there's a Hollywood producer just did another line of coke. Oh, this is good. Keep going.
Hey, this is
They're
on the
remaking
podcast.
everything.
It's
They might as
ours.
well. We're trademarking Big 2 Electric Boogaloo with Cody.
And Ferris Bueller's Son's Day Off. Yeah.
Ferris Bueller's 5-minute day off. Ferris Bueller's son's attempt at getting a day off. The shortest movie ever made.
Remember that WTF moment we talked about where like they were trying to roll the car backwards in order to make the mileage go back?
Speedometer, yeah, that never worked.
What? I still don't understand that.
I thought, when I watched that, because I'm younger than you, when I watch, I'm like, why isn't this working? I didn't know anything about cars. I'm like, why isn't it working? Is it because the Ferrari's too old? It's not going backwards like that?
No, but what I wondered is why did they wait an hour and a half to look at the speedometer? They just they would have saw it worked right away.
Yeah, they actually would have gone past the amount of time that they needed to.
Like, what if?
So then they would have had to drive it forward again.
Right.
Like, oh, shit,
And then they
we
would have
backed
had
it
to get the car towed.
They backed
back.
it up 50 miles. Oh no, we got to drive it.
Now we got to drive 50 and get it towed all the way back.
No, Vic. You go 25 one way and 25 the
Oh,
other.
yeah.
You don't
I was like, I didn't want to point out the obvious. I was like,
that reminds me of The Office when they do the 5K run for whatever reason, and they ran 5K. They didn't run back. They just ran like.
Is that the one where Michael also starts carbo loading 5 minutes before the race?
Yes.
Yeah,
He's eating
he
fettuccine
throws up.
Alfredo. He's like, I got a carbo load. His fucking lips are all white by the end.
He was throwing up, and yeah, but they're like, dude, why didn't you make it a loop? Why
He made it straight.
so stupid.
How many? What other
Cody,
movies can we remake?
Did you watch Bright on Netflix?
I did watch Bright.
Okay, so through text messages, you were like, what did you say was cool? One part was cool.
Oh, I like the guy that played the orc cop.
Oh, that's
Joel-
Uncle Owen.
Joel Egerton. or
Uncle
whatever.
Owen.
Uncle Owen from
Yeah.
episode 2.
Yeah, I thought
And
he
3, yeah.
played it. I thought it was interesting. I like the way that he was kind of naive and awkward, but still kind of a badass.
Yeah.
You know, and
But that was it, you said.
Yeah, the rest of it was kind of all over the place. My son, we were sitting around and it came out, and I was like, "Hey, Colin, do you want to sit down and watch this really weird Will Smith movie?" And he's like, "No, I'm not interested." And I said, "But Will Smith plays a cop and his buddy's an orc, and then there's fairies." And he's like, "Where's the remote? Let's do this." And so we watch it, and then we're like, after it was done, we just kind of looked at each other and we're like, either this is like a really mediocre weird movie, or this is the greatest film that's ever been made. And so we were like, let's give it 2 hours to sink in,
Yeah.
and then we'll figure it out, and it still hasn't sunk in. But
What's it at? What's it on Rotten Tomatoes right now? 40, 30%?
No, it's way
50?
low. It's
Really?
like 20. I thought it was 27 or something like that.
I don't understand. Something's wrong with me because I actually enjoyed this film.
I thought it was fun. I thought it was interesting, yeah.
I wanted more. It didn't spell things out for you. It kind of let you guess what was going on, and it kind of told stories and semi flashbacks, and when you finally find out what what his partner actually did was interesting. I didn't think I read a lot of the negative reviews after I saw the movie, and I was like, did I see the same fucking
Yeah,
movie? It was
What were they saying about it? Is what
that it was all disjointed and the dialogue was shit, and I thought, and they ranked on Will Smith's performance, which I actually enjoyed. I was like, oh, cool, Will Smith is acting again.
Yeah.
You know?
I
So
liked it.
actually liked it. I thought, our favorite thing out of Suicide Squad was Will Smith. One of two good things that came out of that movie was Will Smith, and I was like, oh, good. I didn't think that was Will Smith from Wild Wild West in that fucking movie.
No, and every now and then he did break like he was improvising. Like some of the lines that he said were pretty funny though. Like they hit pretty well.
Yeah.
I think the reason, I don't know, maybe you guys can put your 2 cents in, but I keep getting, when I keep saying online that I'm not a big fan of Last Jedi, I get this hatred. I get these hate comments that are like, well, you just didn't understand it. Okay, number one. And then with Bright, the rating is really low because some people are saying that they're like, oh, it was just all over the place. I think it's the opposite. Like, I got Last Jedi just fine. I understood it. I just didn't like the way they treated Luke. But Bright, I think people don't like it because they didn't understand it, because it wasn't spelled out for them. They didn't sit there and explain that for the last 2,000 years, the orcs and elves and humans lived together and this and that. They didn't need to. I love the movie because they didn't spoon feed me anything. They just let the
yeah.
story play out, and I figured everything out as I watched it. But
Alienation, like that's what it's kind of referred to, this movie.
yeah,
But even in the beginning of Alienation, there's like a few paragraphs of stuff to read
Yeah.
to give you the backstory. And in this movie, there's none of that.
Yeah,
It's
and they
just
have the news reports.
no,
and
there's
stuff.
no
yeah,
origin.
they do it
There's
in
no
the
origin.
story itself by saying, certain comments here and there. All these bits and pieces give you what has been happening for so long.
With Bright, I just can't remember anything but Will Smith and the Orc Cop. I don't remember anything else.
Well, it was
That was
the
my
movie
fault.
also
That was
played out
Elf.
like End of Watch. I don't know if
Yeah.
like so
Yes.
David.
So
Ayer
I
did it.
enjoyed those two in the car, and I knew that there was some good action scenes. But after that, it's like a complete blank. It's almost like the government came in and took those memories from me. You know what I'm saying? Like,
You get to
Like
watch
it
it
didn't
again.
exist.
yeah. It's like it's very fuzzy, and then I don't know. I thought it was fun. I mean, you're using somebody else's codes for Netflix anyway, and it was free. I don't know. Pretty good.
I don't know. I completely disagree with Rotten Tomatoes. I feel like I'm a DCEU fan or something. Like I'm trying to defend shit. Like I'm trying to figure out if fuck, I didn't like The Last Jedi and I think Bright is good. Like what the fuck is wrong with me?
Well, Bright to me felt polished. I mean, you look at Suicide
very,
Squad that he just did, and it
Yeah.
was like 7 movies into that were disjointed, like all into one. It was like a patchwork.
Well,
thing.
I mean, you actually cared about Will Smith's character and the orc in this
he's
movie.
totally flawed. Will Smith's character is totally flawed in this.
I didn't care
movie.
about anybody in Suicide Squad. I was like, I hope you all fucking die.
I
I hope
commit
all
suicide.
that floating garbage, that flying garbage, for some reason, this fucking witch who has the power of magic wants to build a machine. You fucking kidding me? How the fuck does she know how to build a doomsday machine? She's been stuck in a doll forever. At most, you might be able to build a TV.
And then those like weird like zombie people with the bubbly heads. Like, what was that?
fucking
But do you,
Why?
but do you
I
know
hate
with
that
the
movie.
power that she has, she could have just zipped into the White House and killed the president and zipped out.
Yeah.
She could have killed
Or she
all
could
the
have
world
killed
leaders.
every single one of the Suicide Squad members. Every single one. Didn't need the brother. She could have just killed them all. Why? Because Will Smith can shoot a gun, but he doesn't know magic. Right? Boomerang. Don't get me started on that fucking guy. What did he do? He threw a boomerang. Did he even throw a boomerang?
He did. It hit a guy in the head and it fell on the ground. They didn't go pick it up.
Which is basically even worse than like somebody like Arrow, like in a fight, because you let's just wait until he runs out of arrows. He's got to actually come and get them. He can't reload without coming to us. So you got Boomerang, right? And then you had Harley Quinn with a fucking baseball bat. Right,
Yeah.
like she's easily dispatchable, I would think, with magic, because unless that baseball bat is enchanted,
The fire guy's the only real threat. I mean, out of any of them.
but she can conjure up fucking water. Boom, done.
Yeah. Yeah, it
she
was
just
weird.
bounces. It's
like-
bounce.
It was world ending too, and that's the other problem. It was world ending.
And go.
And it's just the same world where Batman and Superman and Wonder Woman exist.
Right.
build.
So what
build
the
a
fuck
doo-
were they doing?
Build a Dooms machine, not in the building where everyone can get to. Build it in the Amazon, in the middle of nowhere, where nobody can get to you, or in Antarctica.
Or make the plot where the government needs to cover their asses for something.
Yeah.
Like literally cover their asses for something, and it's not world ending where like Superman would just ignore it because it's in a different zip code.
Well, it was weird. It's like, I love those comic books.
Yeah.
I love them.
Yeah.
And I could not have hated that movie more. I could not. I mean, I thought,
He's like-
Margot Robbie was great, but it was like,
Superman is
screen.
like
on screen. It was like, it
Superman-
didn't make any sense. It was like,
Superman's watching the news and he's just smoking a joint. And he's like, "That's just too far, man. I'm not gonna go. I'm not gonna fly out there."
What? No,
He
Get
got
it.
contact with that white kryptonite or whatever, and from Superman 3.
Yeah.
He's fucking in the bar, like flicking peanuts at the mirror and shit.
While the TV show's going, the news thing's going above
Yeah,
him.
yeah.
He's
He's like,
"Nah."
oh, flying garbage. I don't need to do this. Give me another round. And another bowl
give me a
of peanuts. I
cashew.
want to fuck up all your bottles.
Yeah.
He's all dirty and shit. Like, apparently bad Superman doesn't shower or shave either.
No.
And his suit got darker, too. Like, what the fuck was he doing?
Wouldn't the peanuts just disintegrate when he flicked them though?
Maybe. I don't know. Well, I mean, if that's
That's what I'm worried about.
Look,
that's what you're thinking
That's what
about that
keeps
movie.
me up
Such
at night.
I mean, Richard Pryor was in that fucking movie.
they were rounding up pennies.
I mean, he literally fights himself in a fucking garbage dump, and you're worried about the fucking peanuts.
I'm all
Actually,
yelling
I was
at
going
the
to say,
street.
like, we were having trouble with half of 50. Do you think we understand peanutology? The physics of peanut flicking?
I wanted him
deGrasse
to go
needs
back to that bar later and like give him a bunch of money. He's like, sorry about that.
Oh yeah, he never went back. He never went back to that bar. Superman's a dick.
Yeah.
He ran up that bar tab and never went back to pay him. Like he gave Lana a fucking diamond ring, but the fucking bartender probably had to close down, lost his job. His wife left him for his brother, who's more successful now because he had to close down, and he fucking kills himself, and Superman doesn't even know about it.
Man, this took a turn that I did not see coming. Did not see this coming.
Oh my god. He's like, go see that coal over there? Go make me a diamond, asshole. Like, come
Yeah, it
on.
only takes you 2 seconds.
That's kind of cheating almost. That's almost like going robbing a bank. I mean, they just like
Well, it's just coal. You could fucking go to like Walmart and Superman
Yeah,
could pick
but
up a
if
bag
he
of coal, and all of a sudden he's fucking as rich as. Why didn't he do that in Justice League? That's how he could have paid back Martha's like
Oh,
thing.
yes.
Right, that would have been a nice callback.
Yeah, I just got some charcoal
Instead,
briquettes.
Batman-
Yeah, instead of like being so surprised that Bruce Wayne could afford to pay off
Yeah.
your mother's little petty fucking farm loan.
he should have said, "You owe me, man. Like
Yeah.
you owe me 20% interest." He's like, "I'm a businessman. I didn't get rich doing stupid,
like-
giving my money away."
He's like, we just got legalized in Kansas. So start growing shit. You work for me now.
It reminds me of like when Homer Simpson had the computer business at home, and like Bill Gates shows up.
Yeah.
And like
Oh, he buys them out.
Yeah.
he
just
buys them
smashes
out. Yeah, they're like, "You don't think I got rich writing checks, did you?" So fucking awesome.
And then that's what Bruce Wayne says. He's like, you didn't think I got rich by like building weapons or shit, right? I fucking
Yeah.
sell drugs.
Oh my God, that would be great.
Yeah, it'd be awesome.
I would totally
Like, I
watch
just
that
bought
movie.
your farm and you're growing this shit.
When Batman turns into Scarface, come on, that would be a great
No,
movie.
Scarface shows up in this movie because why the fuck not?
Yeah, why
like the
not?
rest of the movie was shit anyway.
True.
It does. I would have improved it. Like Scarface is like friends with Batman. That's how they fucking get all their money and shit.
Like Scarface has like a big, like he's got like a kryptonite suit, and he like that's how he like gets Superman to do his bidding. It's like, all right, we need super fertilizer, so I want you to create super fertilizer.
All right, this entire part of the farm is going to be Kush.
Yeah.
This side right here, all right? Right over here in front of your mom's garden, there's going to be purple haze.
Okay, we want some kryptonite shit. We want some of the good stuff.
How can I infuse Kryptonian technology with growing weed? Where's Lex Luthor? Do I just stick stick one of these crystals in a pot plant and then I get like kryptonite weed?
That's what the world engines were for.
they were meant to harvest weed.
Yeah, they were terraforming to like weed. Just a bunch of weed.
They were just turning the entire planet into Humboldt County.
That would have been so awesome. And
Oh,
then
man.
that's how you transition to like Jane Silent Bob, the Blunt Man and Chronic comic book. That's how you get that universe in there.
Oh my god! Like he's about to blow it up, and they're like, "No, we're turning into Humboldt, and we're making weed." And he's like,
If you
"Oh,
blow
shit,
it up,
okay,
if you blow it up, the
okay."
entire planet's gonna get fucking stoned. Just massive fucking secondhand high.
Yeah, people in Mars, downwind, are like, whoa.
Martian Manhunter, yeah, sitting on his
Martian,
like,
that's why Martian Manhunter comes to Earth.
he's like,
It smells
"Whoa."
the reefer.
He's like, "This is way better shit than I have." Like, what do you got?
Everybody
This
in
is
Mars.
already like a 50 times better movie than Justice League.
Yeah.
I mean, Bruce Wayne is best friends with Scarface.
And you know that producer in Hollywood right now.
Oh,
already
and
knows.
Michelle Pfeiffer leaves Scarface to become Catwoman. There we go.
Oh,
Cha-ching.
Print the money.
Universe.
Yes. Cha-ching. Done. Print it.
Hey, we kind of know a producer, but
This movie is so like purposely shitty that it's awesome. Justice League was trying to be good. That's why I can't stand
Were
it.
they though? Were they trying to be good? Were they? Are we positive they were trying to be good?
They were trying to not piss off. It's funny the things that they actually corrected in the movie that aren't even that big of a deal.
Yeah.
The reaction.
Yes.
They're
Yeah.
so reactionary.
But to the
it's
wrong
crazy.
thing.
Right.
Like when I'm telling you, like, your plot sucks, you don't understand Superman, you only make him homicidal for like the first half of the movie instead. and then he all smiles the rest of the movie. Like what was weird, what was great, what was really sad and fun at the same time was like that's the first time I actually saw Superman. Like in Zack Snyder's world. Like when he was smiling and talking shit to Steppenwolf. I was like, oh yeah, because Steppenwolf is nothing to him.
Yeah.
Fucking absolutely nothing to him. And he's talking shit, smiling while being Superman. And I thought, hey, this is my Superman. Why the fuck didn't you do this for 2 other movies?
Well, it was
The
like, you
movie's
know,
over.
you had the death of Superman, and you had Superman's rebirth or whatever, and that took
In 30 minutes.
30 seconds.
30 minutes. Well, technically,
crazy.
so Superman actually would have came back to life a little bit earlier if they didn't actually bury him alive.
Yeah, that's true.
Because he came back at the end of Batman v Superman.
Yeah.
What was all that flying dirt shit?
Yeah.
That was just dumb. Like, leave it to Zack Snyder to ruin a major comeback in the next movie.
Yeah, it was incredible because that's like a great moment in comic lore history.
Yeah,
and they
and
just
just shit on it.
Leave it to.
And they
past
actually could do it. Unlike the Flash, who uses Flashpoint to 20 minutes. They pissed all over the deaths of Superman.
yeah, just totally. It was
Hey,
incredible.
leave it to Zack Snyder to ruin Last Jedi too, because when Rey does that force shit, you see the rocks like float, and immediately I thought
in the trailer.
Thought of Batman vs Superman immediately when I saw that. I was like, no.
No, that was Man of Steel when he's in the Arctic, when he's Superman for 5 minutes.
There's that too.
Yeah, it takes him like 5 minutes. Like the Christopher Reeve version, right? Like he goes away for like 10 something years, he says, Martin
Had to,
Brando
yeah.
say. He says it in there. He says you're going to think you're only gone for X amount of time, but in reality you've been gone for this many years, right? And then they explains it actually trains him with all the knowledge and to be Superman. In this one, Jor-El's like, you were meant for something great. Here's a suit. Get the fuck out.
So basically, Jor-El was my father. Trying to watch Braves baseball. Get out. Thanks, Dad.
Your dad gave you a super suit?
Yes.
That's awesome.
Oh my god.
I was trying to think that something appropriate that my dad gave me. I was like, I got nothing. No, he gave me nothing. Absolutely nothing.
Not as good as Jor-El then.
He gave me this
Or
scar.
Jonathan or Jonathan let all the kids die Kent.
Yeah. I know. He's like, you remember the farm, like just a farmer's dream or whatever. He's like, no, he wasn't.
No, Superman was not the farmer's dream. The farmer's dream was for you to fucking hide.
Yeah,
You're doing
exactly.
the exact opposite of farmer's dream.
His dream was to have a field of weed. He's like, it's finally coming true.
Oh that's when Martha, like, there's that cutscene. Martha's like, I told Jonathan for fucking 15 years to stop growing corn. Weed is the business.
Corn is everywhere. Jeez.
Yeah. We don't need any more corn. People want weed. Then we can grow like corn, because then people would want like to munch on popcorn afterwards. So popcorn instead.
Oh my god, I can just see the next movie. She's got like fucking gold chains, and, like, bodyguards and shit.
She's just hanging out. She's chilling.
He shows up.
Snoop
He's like,
Dogg's in
"Mom."
it.
He's like, "Mom, what did you do?"
Yes.
Yeah,
Snoop Dogg's
Mom,
in
what
it.
have you done to the farm?
She's got like fuzzy dice in her fucking truck. It's all pimped out. Oh man,
Been
I
gone a
hate
long
those
time,
movies.
son.
Yeah,
Mom
So
had to do
bad.
something.
I think we improved the movie.
I think
Yeah,
so.
we did.
I mean, I don't think it would take much. But like Steppenwolf was so bad. It was just so bad.
Well, you knew you were in for a shit movie when they opened up with Spider-Man: Homecoming's opening. Yes, with a shittier version. And you're like,
Oh, yeah.
Did you guys not want to cut this? Like Spider-Man: Homecoming came out 2 months ago, or like 4 months ago at that point in time, like 4 months, right?
Yeah.
So
keep on
they were
July.
like, "Hey, we better change this ending because they just fucking did this way better than we had it, right? Like way better than we did." They're like, "No, fuck it, just go with it.
It's fine.
It's fine because we had to CG the mustache off here too, so we spent all that money. We still have to play the scene.
that was
I
so
was
creepy.
gone like right from that scene right there.
Oh, I was.
when
Too.
they're
I was
like,
confused
I was
too
like,
because I never saw him
when
smile
Spider-Man's
before.
showing up.
I was like, when did they film this? Because I've never seen him smile.
Yeah, there are a bunch of kids filming you. Shouldn't you let them drown like your daddy wanted?
They're on the edge of a cliff while they're filming
Yeah,
it. He's
they're
like, "Are you
like-
going to help us?"
Oh man, what a
The
sh-
Incredibles. Yeah.
Yeah, I can't believe they allowed that to go. Like, I can't believe they allowed that scene to just hit. Like after Spider-Man: Homecoming happened. Like, what were you thinking?
Yeah, they're like,
Like,
we
no,
need-
ours will be better. No, it really wasn't.
it
It
won't.
was not better.
It was worse.
Because I don't give a shit about your Superman. That's why. And the fact that you and the whole messaging is really bad too in the beginning. Not only is that scene should have been cut with the fake mustache and all, or the removal of the mustache, but that message of that scene is god awful too. Did you pick up on it? Where they're asking him about like all these things, like what's worth it, you know?
yeah.
And all he's focusing on is Lois. I'm like, that's not Superman.
Right.
Like that's not like you further just prove that you don't know who the fuck Superman is. Like you want him to be like a new age Superman, fine, make him that, make him struggle, but still give him that core teachings from Jonathan. That's what makes Superman Superman. It's not Jor-El and his powers. It's that wholesome farm boy teachings that Jonathan taught taught Clark, and that doesn't happen. So when he's like, "I'm going to sacrifice myself," I'm like, "Why?" Because even the mother in Batman v Superman says, "You don't owe this. You don't owe this world anything."
yeah.
And I'm like, "Holy shit! Could they reiterate this anymore? That Superman doesn't need to do shit." Like
That's true. That's true.
even Lois. That's three major influences in his life. All three of them told him, "Get the fuck out, hide or just fuck up." Like when life gives, he does that. He basically their advice was from Forgetting Sarah Marshall. When life gives you lemon, you say "fucking" and bail.
And start writing.
Just
vampire.
Yeah, you have all
puppet
these powers, but fuck it and
songs,
bail.
The weather
Just make
outside
diamond coal.
is weather.
Just give me diamonds made out of coal. Will live like fucking luxury. This Bruce Wayne guy won't even know what the fuck hit him. Makes so many diamonds.
He's just like, "Baby, we're almost out of money. Can you go get some coal?"
Get some Kingford charcoal briquettes on your way home.
Oh my god, how many briquettes is like? That's like 100 in there, right?
Yeah.
Holy fuck! Superman's stupid.
Why does my diamond smell like a backyard barbecue though?
Oh, that diamond was so big in Superman 3. I'm like, Superman could do that, and it made so much sense. Like for him to be able to do that.
It would have
I was
took
like,
a
oh,
lot
cool.
of coal to do that, though. It would not just one coal. You can make a diamond. out of
But
it.
still, he could still make a fucking giant. Even if he made like 4 of those, he's set. He doesn't have to work for the Daily Planet anymore. He doesn't have to pretend to be Clark Kent.
That's the thing. These people with superpowers. It's like, why can't they like be rich? They don't have. They're always poor.
Yeah.
Like,
Well, the only person that makes sense for is like probably like Spider-Man.
yeah,
There's a
but
reason
even
why
then,
he-
I mean, he's smart. He's smarter than anybody.
Yeah, he's as
like
smart as Tony Stark.
Stark smart. Yeah, and he's still slinging pizza and like not making any money. I'm like, what?
And
You
always
couldn't
pulling off
design
his
an
ma-
app. You know, you're like the smartest kid in the world. You don't
Yeah.
have an app.
Oh man, we're getting
right.
a little long in the tooth here, so
Yeah.
just want to catch up with Cody. What anything new been going on with you? I think you moved to. Well, I don't think I know. You moved to weekdays. How's that working out for
Monday
you?
through Friday. Yeah. I realized my mistake because
It's because you don't have us on anymore.
that's
why.
true. That's that. And then the weekend show is like 7 to 10. 7 to 11, 7 to 11, and then the weekday show is 4:30 till 10. And
Oh,
so there
my.
was like there's a couple hours there of sleep that I didn't get. And then on Mondays and Tuesdays, my wife and kids would go to school because my wife's a school teacher. So I would sleep in till like 11, you
Right.
know. And so it was like all this sleep that I just magically disappeared. And I was like, oh my God, I've made a grave mistake.
I immediately regret this decision.
Then apparently I had 11 years of yard work that I haven't done that my wife was like, you know, you need to get out in the backyard
Oh,
and do
now
this.
that you're
And I was
home on the
like,
weekends,
yeah, I think I'm going to go back to working weekends. That was great.
is that happening? You're going to go back to weekends?
No,
Oh, okay.
no.
How's the who's the weekend crew now? You got over there.
Camby and Tina.
Okay.
Tina. Okay.
What
Awesome.
Are they doing movie reviews anymore?
No.
They're not doing any, right? You guys
No.
aren't doing any movie reviews.
No.
We were the only ones that did movie reviews ever for you guys.
Yeah. In the last couple
sucks.
years, yeah.
That sucks. We were almost regulars,
Uh-huh.
and then you ruined it.
Yeah. I ruined it. Getting a normal schedule like a normal human.
4:30 to 10 is
ruined it.
not fucking normal.
Yeah, that's true.
That is not. No, that's the opposite of
That's a
normal.
good point.
No.
That's ridiculous. I think I got up a few times last week or the week before at 4:30 just to go to the gym class at 5, and that sucked. And that was only for an hour, and I didn't have to like talk to anybody and be friendly either on TV.
Well, I get up at 2 a.m. and then the alarm goes off at 2 a.m. because I work out before the show.
Yeah.
Can't you tell? But anyway, so my alarm clock, and I swear to you, there's like a 15-second moment
Yeah.
where I am suicidal. Like the alarm goes off, and I'm like, I could end it all right now, and I really think about it, and then I'm like, okay, and I get up out of bed. But there is a 15-second window where it's dodgy, and there shouldn't be any sharp objects.
So don't eat steak in bed where you have a steak knife right by
yeah,
your alarm
no
clock.
sharp objects.
So how long you been there now? On the weekdays, 6 months now almost.
Yeah, I think it's been 6 months. Yeah.
Any great stories on the weekdays? Now that you moved, any good stories to share? Anything that like stood out a lot besides missing us?
I went to those rompers, the male rompers, the romp
Yes,
ones?
yeah.
We got some
no.
holiday ones.
Oh, I saw that. I saw that.
We went to the airport to show
Were
them
you
off.
wearing the man bun too? while you were
No,
wearing
no,
the
I didn't have a
rompers?
man bun, unfortunately.
Thank God.
But I was rocking the dreidel one. It says "Get lit." It was amazing. So we're at the airport and we're just messing around with people and stuff. But we put our stuff down, and then we totally walked away
Yeah.
because we're idiots. And so we went all the way to the other side of the airport, and we're singing songs with people doing all this stuff. And all of a sudden, this TSA guy comes up and he goes, "Did you guys happen to leave your bag and so and so?" And it's like, "Yeah, we did." And he's like, "Yeah, you can't do that at the airport." And I was like, "Oh God."
That's how like a that's how like an 80s comedy starts. You get like sent to Guantanamo
Yeah,
Bay
yeah, exactly.
with like Chevy Chase and Martin Short.
Ken, Cody, and Sean escaped Guantanamo Bay.
That's an 80s comedy right there. So like Lily Tomlin's like the TSA person in
Right.
this movie.
Then we switch brains.
I bet you any of our listeners, probably the younger listeners, have no idea what we were just talking about. They have no idea. They're like, who the fuck is Lily Tomlin?
Just like gave like an all of me like reference. That's major deep cuts, man. That's not even
Back in bowl. Back in bowl.
fucking.
Back in bowl.
Oh my gosh.
Are you familiar with the Three Amigos? You are, right?
Oh,
Three
yeah, of
Amigos.
course,
What? Any other stories about anything that stands out?
Nothing really.
Yeah, it's only 6 months.
Yeah. It's like, I mean, what could possibly go?
I'm just going to work, man.
I'm just trying not to kill anybody when I wake up in the morning. So what if one of your producers hears this?
I mean,
Are
what
you
the
banking
odds?
on the fact that nobody listens to us?
Yeah, exactly.
He hasn't said anything derogatory.
Yeah, that's what I come here for is therapy, and I know that
Like, I could
nobody's going to
say
hear it.
Whatever
They're
the
not
fuck
gonna
I
hear it.
want, nobody's listening. That's why we allow cursing, because we know
Gonna
nobody's
get like
listening.
yeah, we're gonna get like a text tomorrow. It's like, hey, don't air this, man.
From
I
Les
just, like-
Moonves.
Yeah, somebody actually listens.
That
I
was
was
literally-
not banking on that.
It's during like the 15 seconds he's feeling suicidal too. He's just like, don't do it. Oh wait, it's okay. Go ahead.
We are literally surprised anybody talks to us. Like when we got like Heidi from the Vengeance.
Moneymaker, yeah.
I was like, you clearly haven't done your research. Why would you talk to us? She must have thought we were somebody special or big to be in the green room for you guys. And we're like, no, we haven't even hit 100 episodes yet. Thanks for talking to us.
So yeah, she was so flipping cool. We still talk to her.
Yeah. We
quite
talk to her over
often.
Instagram a lot and Twitter sometimes too.
Yeah, she's super cool.
Oh, somebody that we got recently, Oh, we got Christy Marston, the granddaughter of the original creators of Wonder Woman. We got her on. She was great. She was really fun to talk to.
She was so fun to talk to, and got the straight poop about that.
Yeah, because we actually liked the movie.
Yeah,
and then all of a sudden I started reading all this stuff, and I found her on Twitter, and I was like, hey, we kind of just reviewed your movie. We just saw like all this shit go down. Would you want to come on? And the fact that I was able to curse to her over the cell phone, she's like, "Yeah, I'll do it." she's fucking awesome. She really is
awesome. She's so cool.
She was really great to talk to. Yeah, I don't know why anybody comes on actually.
Hey, not only did I come on, I drove all the way over here. Thank you very much.
You did at night too.
Yeah, because I never leave the house past like 6 p.m.
That's probably
like I am prepared for retirement like you would not believe.
That's another reason why Cody podcasts with us, so he can get out of his house. It's a reason for him to get out of his house, and he's banking on the fact that nobody's listening. Nobody from Good Day's listening.
We still to this day, we owe a lot of this success to you, Cody, because we started on the expo, and then we got on the show and all that stuff, and it's just snowballed, with all these interviews we've done. It all started there.
Yeah, it did.
And it's been a really fun ride. I mean, 2 years, I can't even believe. I can't think of anything other than my job I have now. I've never done anything for 2 years. Like, maybe raising my kid, I guess.
I guess.
Well, maybe even after 2 years, I'm like, you're on your own.
Yeah.
You wipe your own ass? Good. You're set. Go get a job.
Yeah, there's some leftover food in the fridge. Go eat it.
Microwave it. That's what it was created for.
Pop-Tarts. Just put it in the toaster.
Well, it's only been a short 2 years. It feels like it's been longer.
Yeah, it has.
Why does it feel like it's been so long?
I don't know, but I mean, it's been fun, and we did our biggest con this year, which was the San Francisco Comic-Con. That was a blast. I don't know if you get a chance, Cody, you got to listen to that episode. I think it's like episode 97 or something like that. It's freaking hilarious.
We're doing that again this year.
I'm hoping. I submitted our application. We haven't heard
It's San Francisco Comic-Con. But now they're in Oakland, and they're not changing the name.
Like, we're sticking to it, assholes.
Like, where do I go for the San Francisco Comic-Con? Oakland.
Yeah, because the Metreon kicked everything out. They're like, we're not doing any of these.
Yeah, so we're going to be doing the San Francisco Comic-Con in Oakland.
Yeah.
Well, if they sign us back on, I don't see why they wouldn't. But yeah, that was fun too. But that's why you're an honorary member. You should have read the fine print because it says every anniversary episode you have to come on there.
I'm down with that.
You can come with us to Oakland. You just got to carry some shit. Run our soundboard. You'd be like
also
the crazy,
down with
wacky sound guy.
Yeah.
That's
who's that
like,
weirdo with you guys?
This is paying off for Cody because he gets to get out of the house again.
Yeah, that's true. To Oakland.
Oh my gosh. Well, Cody, thank you so much again.
Thank you, boys.
It's always a blast talking to you, and hopefully one of these days we'll maybe get back on the show and bug you, or all get together and do something. So,
well, we've got plenty of time on the 1st. There is nobody working but me and Courtney. So come on by, guys.
On the 1st? Mm-hmm. What, in 2 days?
Now you tell us.
So when this episode drops, there's nothing going on at your show?
Nothing.
What movie can we see this weekend?
Yeah.
Let's review
Bright.
Bright.
A whole hour. just to chew on this hour on Good Day.
I'm just gonna put on my chew on this jersey and hat and just walk behind you guys. Let's see how long it takes for somebody to see he's actually watching.
I'm thinking about doing New Year's resolutions that we've already broken that morning.
On the 1st?
Yeah, I think that'd be funny.
That would be a good one.
Or great moments of 2018 because everybody enjoyed the wrap up stuff that we did in 2017. So let's just keep going.
Do you guys have a year-end show, right? Did you guys already do that?
Yeah, we did. We did like a Christmas special.
Okay.
It's supposed to be the best of.
Oh, it's on Christmas. It's not during New Year's week.
No.
Huh.
We actually work. Can you tell like the sadness in my voice? Yeah,
It's
working
work.
New Year's Day. Yeah,
I'm starting to feel suicidal.
Yep. 15 seconds is stretching.
All right, we need to get him out of this house then.
Yeah, you get the long drive home, so listen to the podcast. Cody, thank you again, man. I really appreciate it. We had a good time. And well, this was episode 116. And after this episode, stay tuned. We're going to have best of clips of 2017. So this is Chew on This, episode 116. I'm BJ.
Rick,
Until next time, folks, chew on that.
later.
Bye.